Congo is also in the eye of the storm at the moment. For some reason, Biden administration is seeking to water down the influence of the Chinese and every other person that is in Congo, because the go-to guy who was helping them to, get access to minerals has been sanctioned. But in order not to sort of stop themselves on the toe, they are going to ease sanctions on Dan Gertler. I believe you're well aware of that name. The story making the rounds on the Financial Times is that billionaire under sanctions could get $300 million in controversial U.S.-Congo deal. Washington proposal would ease restrictions on Israeli tycoon Dan Gertler imposed over alleged corruption dealing. Dan Gertler, a billionaire under sanction, is set to receive hundreds of millions of dollars as part of a controversial U.S. plan to lift restrictions on the Israeli tycoon if he sells his remaining mining interest in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Under the proposal, the Treasury will provide Gertler with special licenses to sell 3 royalty streams back to the Congolese government and would eventually grant him a general license to regain access to U.S. financial system. Now, this is the crux. The Biden administration had placed access to such critical minerals at the heart of its policies on Central Africa and has sought to deepen ties in Congo since the election of President Felix Tshisekedi in a rigged election in 2018. Congo is the world's largest source of cobalt, Africa's largest producer of copper, but the country's mining sector is dominated by Chinese companies. Does that ring any bells?
Yes. Well, this story, I'm not impressed at all with this story. It's pure propaganda. And obviously, it's many of the stories, once you have a deeper understanding of the premise and the context, you realize how racist it really is. So, this Israeli criminal who even the U.S. itself says, in the first place, why did you sanction him? Because you said he bribed Congolese officials, right?
Yep.
And as a way, and because of his action of bribing Congolese officials, he deprived the people of Congo and the government of Congo of $1.3 billion in revenue. Had the resources that Congo had, its mineral resources, been sold at a competitive price into the international market. But because he bribed, he got concessions, Congo already lost $1.3 billion, okay? So this guy, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars he's already made, or billions of dollars, and now he has, even though the U.S. placed sanctions on him, he still has royalty stream from 2 concessions that he previously had shares in Congo. And in order for the U.S. to negotiate its way, to negotiate him, this criminal, Gertler, out of the Congolese mining operations, they will allow him to retain $300 million. So in other words, that's his payoff. That's his golden parachute. To get rid of him, he's going to get a golden parachute. And then after that, they're going to ease the sanctions on him that would allow him once again to have access to U.S. financial markets. So my question is this. If the U.S. was dealing with a mafia don, who this guy is operating like a mafia don, would the U.S. allow the mafia don to keep proceeds worth $300 million? Come on, think about it. That's number one. Number two, the U.S. is actively involved in assisting some African countries in recovering resources that were diverted or stolen by former African leaders or former African senior officials, right?
Correct.
So you're going after these African leaders, misrulers, who stole from their people to help these countries recover the money that has been stolen. But instead of helping the Congo recover the $1.3 billion that it's lost because this guy had been bribing senior Congolese officials, no, you're rewarding him with another $300 million and rewarding him with access to the U.S. financial markets by lifting the sanctions. It's completely preposterous and it's outrageous. And the explanation is not satisfactory. The explanation does not fly. It's nonsensical. The explanation provided by the Biden administration is that by allowing him to get this payoff, it will force him to exit the Congo mining industry. And that will then allow players with so-called clean hands, including U.S. companies, to become involved. Just look at the logic behind it. You are telling us that you're going to assist a criminal
to get
out of the way. That's called aiding and abetting, right?
Yeah.
You're going to commit another crime in conjunction with somebody who you already said has been bribing. It doesn't fly. It does not meet the smell test. It's completely preposterous, and it shows you the level of contempt that they really have for African sovereignty. It's outrageous.
I mean, what immediately jumped out of me when I read the article was, not only is it going to be rewarded with, obviously, the amount in cash, the access to the financial situation in the US, he's effectively being paid to get out of the way so that someone else can come in and plunder.